His voice cracked in front of the entire tribe. Not a little crack, not a cute, recoverable crack. A full, catastrophic, earth-shattering, mammoth-waking screech right in the middle of him trying to sound intimidating. The tribe went silent. A bird flew away. A child pointed. And Grock, 15 years old, 4.5 feet of pure misplaced confidence, stood there, absolutely frozen, wondering why the universe had personally chosen to destroy him. This is the story of the first human to experience puberty, and absolutely no one warned him. 3 weeks earlier, Grock was living his best life. He was fast. He was loud. He was the kid who could throw a rock the farthest, and he wanted everyone to know it. Every single day. He woke up, beat his chest, ate something unidentifiable, and declared himself the future alpha of the tribe. Nobody asked. He told them anyway. Life was simple. Life was good. Life was Grock. Then one morning he woke up, and something was wrong. His armpits smelled like a mammoth had times moved in. He sniffed himself once, twice, looked around suspiciously like the smell was coming from somewhere else. It was not coming from somewhere else. He was the mammoth. Now, here's the thing about cavemen. They didn't have WebMD. They didn't have older brothers pulling them aside. They didn't have an awkward school nurse handing them a pamphlet with cartoon diagrams. They had vibes. They had cave paintings. And they had Og, the oldest man in the tribe, who mostly just yelled at clouds and ate berries off the ground. Og was not going to be helpful here. So Grock did what any rational prehistoric human would do when confronted with a mysterious body crisis. He panicked silently and told absolutely no one. Day 2, his face erupted. Not one bump, not a polite, forgivable blemish. His forehead looked like a topographical map of a mountain range that had never existed before and had no business existing now. Grock stared at his reflection in the river for a long, long time. The river did not reassure him. He poked one bump. It got worse. He poked it again. Even worse. He walked away from the river like it had personally offended him. The tribe noticed. Tribes always notice. Within 20 minutes, Grock, the most gossipy caveman in recorded history, had told 7 people that Grock was marked by something. Didn't know what. Didn't need to know what. Information spread faster in that tribe than a wildfire in dry season. By lunchtime, people were giving Grock slightly more space than usual. Grock interpreted this as respect. It was not respect. Day 5, the growth spurt hit. He went to sleep normal. He woke up 2 inches taller with knees that sounded like a fire starting every time he stood up. His legs were doing something they had never done before. They were long now, confusingly long. He kept tripping over terrain he had successfully navigated for 15 years. He tripped over a rock he had personally placed in that spot. His times rock, his times trip. The tribe watched him stand back up with the kind of expression that said, times we saw nothing, times, but also times we saw everything. Grock dusted himself off, stuck his chest out, walked forward with tremendous dignity, tripped again. Now, by day 7, Grock had a theory. And listen, give him credit. He was working with zero information, zero context, and a body that was actively betraying him in new and creative ways every morning. So, in terms of prehistoric logic, his theory was almost reasonable. He believed he was cursed. Specifically, he believed he had angered a rock. Not a special rock, not a ceremonial rock, Just a rock he had kicked one afternoon out of frustration about a hunting trip that went badly. He went back to that rock. He stood in front of it. He apologized to it with a kind of sincere, broken energy that most humans reserve for their worst relationship mistakes. The rock did not respond. Grock took this as a sign that the curse was ongoing. He started bringing the rock offerings, berries, a stick, part of a fish he wasn't using. The tribe watched him do this for 4 days. And then, on day 11, came the voice incident. The tribe was doing tribe things. Moving around camp, someone had found something large, and everyone was being dramatic about it. Grock saw his moment. He opened his mouth to make his presence known, to announce himself, to project the dominant, powerful, alpha-in-training energy he had been practicing since age 9. What came out was not that. What came out started as a roar, deep, confident, intentional, and then, somewhere in the middle, his voice split into 2 completely different pitches simultaneously, like his throat simply could not commit to a single decision. It lasted about 2 seconds. It felt like 11 years. The tribe froze. Grock froze. A child started laughing. Got immediately shushed. Started laughing again anyway. Grock turned around, walked calmly to the edge of camp, sat down behind a large rock, and stared into the middle distance with the expression of a man whose entire life plan had just collapsed in real time. He sat there for a while. The sun moved. Animals passed. The distant sounds of the tribe doing normal things drifted over to him like an insult. And then, something happened that no one expected. Og, cloud yelling, ground berry eating, generally useless. Og shuffled over and sat down next to him. Didn't say anything at first. Just sat. Then Og pointed at himself, made a gesture, did a terrible impression of a voice cracking, and then started laughing so hard he nearly fell sideways. Grock stared at him. Og nodded, still laughing. And somewhere in that completely nonverbal, chaotic, barely communicated exchange, Grock understood. This wasn't a curse. This had happened before. This was just this. Whatever times this times was. It happened. It passed. And apparently, Og, who was once also a disaster, had survived it. Grock didn't suddenly feel fine. Let's not pretend he did. He walked back to camp, still embarrassed, still pimpled, still approximately 40% legs, still smelling like a personal weather event. But he walked back. And the next morning he woke up, tripped over his own feet, slightly less than the day before, and went about his life with the specific kind of energy that only comes from surviving something humiliating and realizing it didn't actually kill you. Here's the part that should make you deeply uncomfortable. You know someone going through this right now, or you remember going through this, or you have photos from going through this that you hope never resurface. The body that betrays you at the worst possible moment. The confidence that gets publicly demolished before it ever had a chance to develop. The absolute certainty that you are uniquely, specifically, cosmically cursed, and the slow, painful discovery that, no, this is just Tuesday. This is just being alive. Grock was not special for struggling. He was not weak for hiding behind a rock. He was not stupid for apologizing to a stone for 4 days. He was just a kid, going through something enormous, with no map and no warning, and a tribe that treated the whole thing like live entertainment. which, to be fair, is still exactly what we do. We still point. We still whisper. We still send each other videos. The tribe hasn't changed. The rocks are just smaller now, and we carry them in our pockets. Grock survived puberty. He grew into his legs. His face cleared up. His voice settled into something functional. He even impressed someone eventually. Not in the way he planned, but in the way things actually work messy, late, and nothing like the version he had imagined. He never apologized to a rock again. Probably. And somewhere, in a camp very much like his, another kid is waking up this morning feeling like the universe has made a specific personal decision to ruin their life. They're wrong. But they won't know that for about 3 more years. Welcome to being human. It has always been exactly this embarrassing. It has always been exactly this worth it.